Good morning, everybody. It's me again. I look around and I make so many friends. I love this job that God has given me. A lot of you guys spend a little time with me, and I appreciate it. Hey, Leon. Hey. So, okay, guys, I want to introduce you guys to our speaker. Come on up, Rick. You think your boss will let you? Guys, Rick is the owner of R2 Technologies. Rick and I have been friends for most of our careers, and we don't want to tell you how long that's been, but Rick used to be an IT guy himself. I think, Rick, you were a data analyst or something at one time, weren't you? DBA. Oh, I remember when we got big bucks for hiring DBAs. They still do. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, guys, believe me, I want y'all to listen to what Rick's got to say. We've been at this a long time. There's Lori back there. We got Lori with us today, too. So we're kind of having a family reunion. I love it. All of us care about what's going on. There's a lot of things we see out there that we don't like. But, you got to turn them on, don't you? Yeah. Okay. He's a much better speaker than I am. He's a good public speaker. I'm a public talker. We can talk about it, but speaking and caring and message and all that stuff. Take it away, brother.
All right. Can you all hear me okay? Yes. Good morning. Thank you for coming. I appreciate that. Everything that I have here is shareable, so we'll make it available that you can go ahead and have access to it. At the very end of my presentation, I also have my contact information, so you'll be able to reach out and talk to me as well. No harm if you want to take pictures of some of the slides that I have, but by all means. And the big thing that I want, and I'm a short guy, so I'll even stand up here. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. One of the big things is I really appreciate questions, interruptions, things for me, even challenges with what I'm going to say, because that's how we're going to have a dialogue. If I go through this 45 or 50 minutes and you all sit like we are right now, then I think I've missed the mark because no one's been able to engage with me or have anything different to what I'm trying to present here. And it's just one viewpoint, and it's one particular perspective of things. But one of the things I want to do is share with you things, and my topic is 7 things to put you on the top of a candidate of a recruiter's inbox. And I started out when I this presentation about a month ago. I said I wanted to think of it was 10 things of what not to do, and I thought, dang, that's negative. Who wants to have 10 things not to do? So I changed it all around, and the whole idea is there. And I want to share with you these items. I love it because you may disagree with them. That's perfectly fine. This is one perspective. So to start off with, I have an IT placement company. I've been in business 26 years. And I also have been a job seeker because my background is I have a degree in computer science. The first 12 years of my career, I tell people I did real work. I worked for Texas Instruments, I worked for Mobil Oil, PepsiCo, Fidelity Investments, Capgemini, and Accenture. And then I started my own consulting business. And what I do is we do both placements, and we do placements both direct hire, contract work, and contract to hire. And our goal is that we try to work with a client, with a company, and we help solve their talent needs. We're not going to come in there and say, I'm going to take that project, I do it better than you, and give it back to you, when they may be looking just for someone to augment a particular staff. We don't go in and come in and say, hey, we're going to bring you the best talent. We want to go ahead and let you hire more people, when all you need is a subject matter expert or someone with certain expertise to help you with an upgrade from one step to another. So we're there to solve your talent needs. And what I love about doing this is that myself and other companies like ourselves, our goal is to improve the entire industry. I mean, that's the reason why Matt Harrington is here. We're both here because to give back and to make IT better for all of us. And I speak at various different locations. Hopefully I can invite it back to Jeff and get to come and talk to y'all too, because I enjoy coming and talking to y'all and share with you some of these insights. So let's go ahead and talk. And what I first want to talk about, let's talk about the economy. The first thing to do when you're a job seeker is don't listen to the news. All right, keep the news off and find some classical station or something that you like to do. Go into jazz dance or something, but don't do that, all right? We all know what the news is. That's the first thing that's going to do this, that's going to drag you down. Here's what I mean by that. You are, believe it or not, in the best economic area of the country from a number of different reasons, and just in this one slide. Texas and North Texas, we have the most headquartered Fortune 500 companies in the nation. We have 53 Fortune 500 headquartered companies in Texas. North Texas, and when you say Dallas, Fort Worth, Irving, Arlington, we have the largest concentration of it. We have 23 just in this area. Then, of course, Houston, Austin, and San Antonio have the other ones. So you are in a great opportunity, promised land to find the best opportunity for the next job. So keep that in mind. If you want to take another one, what about who's next? So we overtook, back 18 months ago, New York has 51 headquartered companies, and then California, I believe, has 50. So again, that's what I want to say. Number two, in the last 13 years, 175 companies, their corporate headquarters relocated to this area. That's 175 companies. Now, if you think about it, 21 of those companies moved their headquarters to North Texas. Just in the past 12 months, two new ones, in the middle of COVID, Caterpillar and Goldman Sachs moved into this area as well. So other companies that have launched large initiatives, corporate hiring, we're talking about thousands of new employees, are going to be Tesla, Oracle, Amazon, and HP or Hewlett Packard or so. So just in listing those companies, you're busy and need to go ahead and go and get some work done. But here's the thing that I want to challenge you, and here's the part that I really want you to think about when you do your research. Again, if you just look at that, 175 new corporate headquarters, all right? Think about how many of those companies have all these vendors and support suppliers that are now moving or have exploded their offices here to support those headquarter companies. Well, where do I find those? Each one of those headquarter companies publishes an annual review. In that annual review, they list their 5 to 7 key vendors and suppliers that attribute to their success. I challenge you to go and find those suppliers and look at their job boards, find their connections, and go and seek out and do those. I'd rather you spend your time doing that just then going to Indeed, type in project manager, PMP, 7 years, bang. You know, you can do that and good luck to you. Or go and do this and be more finite and more focused on your search, and I guarantee you have a much better opportunity in doing that. Okay? That's the big thing here. This is one of the key slides that I'd like to. You are in a great area. Now, I know you're here because you're in transition, and you know what? We all are. And that's okay because that's not a bad word. And I know other people have always told you this and have shared with this. When you're in transition, you know, if your family knows, maybe some of your friends know, it's okay. Let everyone you know tell them about that. Because if there's someone that's a good connection, they're going to find a way to think of something that they can refer you to. So those are the key things that I want to bring about there. So hopefully this will give you some impact. This will give you some idea. That this in itself is a week's worth of work for you to go back and go out to. So hopefully. Yes, please. Correct. Of these headquarter companies. Okay. Right. So what I would do is I would go to these 175 companies, go and find out what there are, go ahead and pick a dozen to 20 of them that you recognize, go to their annual reports, start reading through them, and they will identify their key suppliers. And then there you go ahead and start doing your research for looking for opportunities there. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Moving on. So let's now talk about what this is. And if anyone can read that, good luck. So what this is saying is we're going to talk about the 7 things that will put you at the top of the candidate pool. Let's go ahead and talk about these. Believe it or not, about a couple of them are going to be very obvious. But you know, in a job interview, in a job search, sometimes people forget the obvious. So you'll see these in coming forward when I talk about them. Let's go ahead and go start. All right, who uses LinkedIn and has their profile? Who uses that for job searching? All right, who uses it for making connections? Okay, well, hopefully your hand will be up for all 3, right? So what I want you to do is that's going to be one of your cornerstones to be able to reach out and find individuals, find opportunities. I'm sure I'm not going to be the first one to go back and tell you this is going to be your best chance, your best opportunity to go and engage to find that next role for you. This is a much better use of your time than going out and looking at a corporate website and just sending your resume to a particular job you think you're qualified for. I don't discount that, but you'll have a much higher opportunity to be able to find things in there. When you reach out to your connections, most of the time they already know you, they already know some of your background. The thing about it, they're an incumbent in the organization that you're working with. And guess what? A lot of times they're going to know about opportunities that are going through the approval process to be so that they can then be so that a job can be created and you can be hired against. Do you want to be competing with a dozen, 50, 100 people to a job that now has a job board? Or do you want to be someone that's on an inside track that your friend is taking your resume to a manager because he knows that job is about to be approved? Which is the better position for you? Which is going to get you the higher opportunity to be evaluated? So that's what you want to do, is you want to use those connections and you want to be able to see where you can find someone that you can help as well in doing it. There's going to be many times that you're going to go through your research, and let's say you're a project manager, let's say you have a finance background, and you end up finding someone in supply chain is looking for a subject matter expert. Okay, great, that's fine. That's a neat job, but I'm not really qualified for that. Maybe you know one of your connections where there is that someone has that supply chain background that is looking for something as an SME. That's your opportunity to send that lead to that person because you're going to be able to help someone pay it forward. That gives you a chance to continue that process. It's, when you are in transition, when you are marketing yourself, it's not just about you. It's about the circle that you know and the circle that they know. And the ways that you go ahead and create those opportunities is by helping others with their opportunities as well. So don't just discard it and make it leave your mind. Put it to the side and think about, who do I know? Who might I connect with next week that might be that supply chain expert that I can send them this lead? That's something that's just as important in what you're doing for yourself. And the last thing is that your connections, this is a story I love telling, hopefully you'll like it as well. Who likes to grow their LinkedIn network? And who would, there are people out there that think their LinkedIn network should be rich and just gorgeous from it only has leaders and influencers and decision makers, and I don't want to accept connections of college grads because they're not going to help me in any way. I don't want to help connections of people that are in marketing because I'm in IT. Why do I want to do that? So my challenge to you is to accept every LinkedIn connection or invitation that you have. Every single one of them, regardless. And here's why, okay? LinkedIn is a referral and a relationship-based engine. And I was trying to get a connection, or actually get an appointment with a CIO about 5 years ago. And going through my particular marketing dialogues and calls and emails and different kinds of ways, calling him, at 7 in the morning before his gatekeeper got in, calling him at 7 at night when everybody's going home, trying to get connections, and I never could. And of course, I go ahead and I accept every LinkedIn connection because I just think everyone's, a good person to connect with. And I connect with this young graduate student in Pakistan that was in studying biology. And he sent me a one-line sentence and asked me to connect. So, okay, sure, I accept that connection, just move on. 2 days later, he returns my call. And I'm starting to talk to him, and I have a nice dialogue with him. We get an appointment set up. And I just said, by the way, I've been reaching out to you for about 3 weeks now. What was it that changed? What did I say? What did you receive that made you want to return my call? And he says, well, I noticed that 2 days ago, you accepted his invitation, and I forgot his name, Ali. And Ali is my nephew. And since you accepted my nephew, I understood that you're really there to help out the organization, and that's why I decided to talk to you. Who would have ever thought that was connection? And you know what? I am an entrepreneur. I'm in business. That was a $450,000 relationship. So that's why I challenge you to accept every invitation that you get in LinkedIn. No one wants to argue with that? Go ahead, Craig.
I did, but I didn't want to say anything. But I've asked a couple of the people that or if well, because just
It does change. I mean, you're right. The algorithms have just kind of shown up in the last 24 months or so. But the point is, so maybe there are things out there. But you know what? When I go and look at that, typically LinkedIn is within the ballpark of someone that I may have interested at one point or another. That gentleman in Pakistan was still a data science graduate. He may be a decision maker in 3 years. Most of my clients today are millennials. The decision makers today, the largest workforce in the economy right now are millennials. So I still say go ahead and do that. I need help. I need to get back to my presentation. Go ahead. Yes, Jeff. Sure.
really why we should connect at the beginning, but it's more a matter of in the future, and you reach back out to me in a year or two and you need some help, I now know where we first met. I know why we connected, because you saw me at a conference, you saw me here at Frisco Connect, you saw me someplace. So don't just hit the white connect button. Look for that blue connect button and send that personal note, because you have a, like I said, personally, ignore when I don't see a personal note why.
Yeah, and go ahead, Matt. Matt's back there.
Yeah, I would just add, is it karaoke time? You know, we talked to a lot of hiring leaders and different people that have been, unfortunately found themselves in a job transition. And to Rick's point, reach out to salespeople that you interacted with. Salespeople are some of the best networkers and can help you, and they're in other companies, and they know things about other companies and what's going on. So, sometimes there's a big, a scary thing. If I connect with this salesperson, they're just going to try to sell me something, but really, they have a lot of information, and they're great networkers, and they think outside the box, so they might have opportunities for you. So don't, like to Rick's point, no connection is a bad connection.
And again, one thing to add to what Jeff was saying earlier, if the person doesn't have a picture, then they didn't really make a big effort to create a profile for themselves. I don't really care so much if they're going to write me a personalized note. Yeah, that's always better. But if they don't have a picture, I'm not sure what they're really doing and why they're out there. So I don't accept people without a picture. Sorry, I'm a visual kind of guy.
So
Yay.
I've heard both sides of the story, but the story I started with, I had a recruiter working with my company laid off over 300 people, and they paid for everyone to have coaching for a while. And she said you should only accept contacts on LinkedIn that you would recommend. That if someone said to you, do you recommend them for a job, you would know enough about them to be able to answer that honestly and give them a recommendation. And if I'm just accepting people that I met at the grocery store, I have no idea what your work ethic is or whatever. And do I want my name associated with you? I see both sides.
And again, I'm giving you one perspective. I'm giving you one thing. Yours is just as valid. I just want to share with you the opportunity that I had in going down my path. So there's no argument there. Yeah, Jenny?
That I might hire. Your profile was interesting to me, or I saw something on there that might benefit my company. I don't have anything right now, but I'm going to connect, because when I do search for that job, your name's going to come up first. That's why I'm connecting with you. I might not know you, but I might want to get to know you. So that's the benefit, to connect with people you might not know.
That's a great point. It gives you a reason to get to know someone. So
I have a point real quick. I like your point on hi, I'm Mez, by the way. I like your point on connecting with college students and millennials, or the younger generation, because entry positions are a lot easier to get in companies. So if you're connected with somebody, a youngin', I'm a millennial, I'm an older millennial, but I'm still one. Shout out to millennials. Anyway, if you do, Brandon back there, shout out. Anyway, squirrel. So if you connect with these millennials and these young college graduates, they get into a company that you want, you're connected, you're nice to them, maybe they can help you get into that door as well, especially if they do have no life, no family, no nothing, no kids, no responsibilities, and they climb that ladder. Heck yeah, you want to know those kids. So thank you.
So I have a comment and a dilemma. The comment is that when a recruiter sends me a request to connect, and it's obvious that they haven't even looked at my profile to see what I'm qualified for, I won't accept them at all, because if they're not willing to put in the effort to understand me, I don't understand why they would think that they would be someone that I would trust. The second one is...
It's another door, it's another opportunity.
Yes, I mean, for me, well, anyway. The other one is I struggle with whether I should accept just blind requests from people that are, or recruiters that are, that have just entered the field. Again, part of the problem is as you can see from my age, I've got a lot of years under me, and I don't know how much a quote-unquote junior recruiter would be able to help me.
And again, the other point is, everyone's starting somewhere. Give the person, as a recruiter and as an owner of my staff of recruiters, and they're reaching out to people that are senior, that are experts, kudos to them for taking that first step. That's from an IT perspective. Okay, let's talk some more here about LinkedIn. Again, you can either take a professional LinkedIn perspective and pay somebody, or have someone pay for you to have a good profile. You go ahead and build it yourself and try your best. Make sure that you take the time to be thorough. This talks about certifications. If you're a PMP, if you're certified as a DBA, if you have any kind of special types of security certifications, anything from an accounting standpoint, put those on there. Because when you are doing searches, most of the time, and recruiters can go ahead and chime in here as well, most of the time recruiters put in a very detailed keyword search to try to find a small result set that they can contact. And they'll put in their certifications and tenures and certain companies and such. So when you make sure you detail your LinkedIn profile with those same types of information, you're going to be at the butt of their list, because that's going to give a better chance for them to reach out to you first. The goal is for them to want to reach out to you at the top and first, as opposed to being in their results set that's pages 7, 8, or 9. So, and when you are in transition, two things is that this is an opportunity for you to go find those certifications that you thought you were too busy for before. And I don't have the exact details, but there are numerous government agencies that will grant scholarships for you to go and pursue those certifications. Because when you are in transition, we all understand that as recruiters, we're there, we want to understand what you're doing at the time. When you can say, I've been in transition for the last 6 months and I've been looking for a job, okay, I understand that. As opposed to, I've been in transition, I've been looking for a job for 6 months, and I've got these 2 certifications, I understand that you're still doing something better to retool yourself to make you more marketable. So this is the opportunity and the time to take that effort and go and get those. I thought I did see a hand. Okay. Okay, yes.
So, I'm sorry. If I may piggyback on that, let me ask about certs and cert dates. With certain certifications, the organization may want you to recertify. I feel that once you got the initial certification, you have demonstrated the skills, and you probably have used those skills on your job. So what's your perspective on that? Second is the skills that you can list on your LinkedIn profile. How does that play into it? And third is, as you were just saying, what have you done? What have we done during this transition period? So if you've taken a course, should you post like your course completion certificate to demonstrate?
Absolutely. Yeah. So starting with the first question, I doubt I'll get to all three because I'm a baby boomer. I can't go past the first thought. Is that certifications. Let's say you're a PMP, you got PMP certified back in 2016, and it's now lapsed because of not taking continuing education. Yes, you still can show that you had a PMP certification. I would use it in parentheses, lapsed, because people know that you just got to be recertified. That's still going to allow you to be in the higher bubble there. We as employers, as staffing firms, search agencies, understand that people don't have hundreds of dollars in transition to keep up certifications. So that's all just fine. I am from the fact, and you'll talk to, if you have 5 recruiters in the room, you'll have 8 different opinions on this, on the keywords, non-keywords, length, non-length. Again, so whatever is most comfortable to you. I will always have an opinion, and my opinion is more is always better. The more details, the more keywords, the more items, the more specifics you have on a job, it's going to be more important to me. I, at different times, have tried to take resumes and tailor them. And I don't mean change them, but tailor them for a specific job, and our candidate doesn't get hired. And we find out that the position gets filled, and we know that guy. We know the person who fills it. And so I'm talking to the manager. Hey, we saw Bobby, and we decided not to present him to you because Bobby didn't have this and didn't have that. Yes, you're right. He doesn't. But you know what? Bobby 7 years ago did this and this thing specifically, and that's the direction we're going. And so because we pared things down, because we're trying to be more focused and concise on what we understood, we missed out on that opportunity. So that's why to kind of do that. And like I said, the third thing, I don't remember what you've asked. Yeah, anything. Okay. So now, the other thing, now here's something else. Let's move on and talk about your resume. And again, like I mentioned, you're going to have a lot of opinions. This is one that's going to be more specific to my particular core business. I am in technology. I place IT professionals. So if you're in accounting, HR, finance, you may want to look at this differently, and I can respect that. From a technology standpoint, you want to try to match your resume into the same genre, into the same terms that the job description. And let's say in your last job, you were a project manager. And the job title for this new opportunity that you think you're a perfect fit for says project leader, or I should say senior project manager. You want to change your title to match up to that title. If you use whatever words that you're using semantically mean the same thing, I can't tell you how many times a candidate will say, well, they'll understand that. They know what that means. Again, most of the time, the first pass of your resume is through someone in HR, and not to discredit anyone there, but they are looking for keyword matches specifics, not just semantically. They have such a broad net. They don't completely understand all the times that terms mean the same thing. So if the terms are the same, you have to take the time to change and modify and edit your resume to match up to the terms and the statements that are said in that job description. So the hard work is, if you are in transition, which guess what, most of you probably are, and you're applying for jobs, I challenge you to have about 20 different versions of your resume. Not a 2-page, a 1-page, a detailed, a summary. Fine, that's 4. You still got 16 more to go. Those 16 other resumes are going to be the resumes that match up to that job description that you saw that you are now applying. That's going to be the difference in you being at the top of the pool and you being looking at maybe on the third or fourth pass. Let's go back here to Pete.
Just real quick comment on that. Yes, you are going to have various versions of your resume. As you apply for these jobs, save that version of the resume along with the job description, print it out, not a link, in a folder. If you're old school, paper folder. If you're more modern, put it on a computer folder. But make sure you save both. You're going to get a call 3 months from now, and they're going to say, "Hey, remember Phil? You applied for this job." And you're going to go, "I did." Okay. So which version of the resume did I send you? So you can go to that folder now and say, "Okay, IBM, project manager," and be able to see the version you sent them and the job you applied for. So you kind of sound halfway intelligent when you have that conversation with the recruiter. So just keep those things in mind. And who else had their hand up?
That's key. That is key.
Just speaking to what you're saying, I cannot tell you how much I agree with you and how much pushback that I've had in the last 15 years on that topic. Typically, when I'll tell a candidate, you need multiple resumes that are going to speak to the opportunities that you are targeting, they look at me like I'm crazy. Well, how in the world, why am I going to do that? One, I can't change the title because XYZ company said this is my title, so that's my title. It is not true. As long as the terms are interchangeable, it's absolutely acceptable. And at the end of the day, what you said about HR is the first glance. Listen, they do not know what they're looking at. All they know is what they've been told in a 5-minute meeting from the hiring manager, go find XYZ. So all they have is a job description, the 5-minute meeting from the hiring manager, and now they have to go find this skilled individual. They don't even know what half the things mean. 80% of what your resume states. So huge, do it, and it means it's actually key. The last thing is you've got 3 seconds, 5 seconds to make it into a yes, no, maybe pile, and that's it. They're literally going through them so fast, and the goal is to get into the yes pile, maybe the maybe pile, but to get stay away from the no. So yeah.
Thank you. Yes. I'll pay you later. Don't worry.
Okay, so this might be a rabbit hole, but it's okay since it's Easter. It is your resume, and I have done it before just to let you know, and I've changed my titles to match theirs. However, my LinkedIn didn't match the resume, and because of that, there was a little bit of a pushback on that. So what would be your approach for that?
And you can't have 30 different versions of your LinkedIn profile. But all recruiters, before they pick up the phone, they're going to compare your resume to your LinkedIn profile. And the recruiters should be trained enough that as long as they are in line, meaning the companies are the same, the years are the same, the body of it is the same, they're not going to challenge you. Absolutely. Yeah, so that's the big thing. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, well, that I'm trying to do is every time I apply, I create a new version of my, as they say, and then under my name, I put for the position name at the company name.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's an easy way to make it match to the position. It's right away after the name. And then I try to do the version, and that I have realized is that many companies, they focus most on your soft skills, the technical skills. So don't underestimate your socialist, your soft skills or people skills, because maybe that is going to do the job instead of your technical skills.
Absolutely. And just because, I already applied for IBM, I'll just use my IBM resume and send that one. No, you still got to tailor it. You still got to change it. If those jobs are different, you want to go ahead and still make that change and make those comments differently. Yes, sir.
What is your opinion on using things like JobScan or SkillSyncer to match your resume to the job rec?
So I'm actually going to talk about that toward the end. Maybe if you let me hold off from bring that up. So, all right, let's go on. Thank you. Thank you for these questions. So how many of you all take the time to update your resume or your LinkedIn profile on some sort of regular basis? Who updates on a regular basis? How many of y'all update it, let's say, weekly? How many of you update it daily? That's the next thing. I'm filling up your day. That's why you're going to be working harder. You want to update your resume and LinkedIn profile daily. Now, it's not as hard as it sounds. What I'm not saying is making changes, rewording, moving positions. What I'm saying is changing commas to, you can do as simple as changing commas to semicolons, capitalizing, uncapitalizing, adding keywords, taking some off. Because again, when a recruiter is searching and they're looking for specific skills, they're putting in skills, they're putting in tenure, they're putting in product location, and they're also putting and who is updated in the last 7 days. Because they don't want to spend their time trying to call somebody that they think is a perfect candidate that's already been working for the last 3 weeks. So if I know that they've updated in the last 7 days, in the last 2 days, in the last day, you're again at the top of the list. And all these search engines, when they're creating that result set, it doesn't go and check what was changed. It just checks the change date. So when you change your resume every day, you again create a better opportunity for you to be in that result set. And again, recruiters have the same, whenever, everyone's done a Google search, everyone's gone and bought something on Amazon where they've had to look at items. How many of you go past the second page on any kind of result set? Your goal is to be in that first page, at the top of that first page. Another way to do that is by updating your resume every day. So that's the thing. So again, hopefully now you're at least 3 hours of your day is just spent working with Ree. All right? Okay. We talked about this. We talked about job titles and everything, tailoring your resume. And so, gosh, remember I talked about some things that were obvious? So again, recruiting, your focus, a very large part of it is about speed. Sometimes we are, a position is only open for a duration of time. Sometimes a position is only open for a number of candidates. Sometimes a position is only open based upon internal versus external submissions or such. So now we found, you've been talking to a trusted recruiter. You even have now your resume in front of a person inside the company that's a decision maker, and they start and they reach out to call you, and your voicemail's not set up. Matt, are you still in here? We are shocked. IT professionals, master's degree, people with more than 10 years experience, their voicemail's not set up, so you don't know if you're calling the right person. The voicemail is full, or the fact that it's a Google number and we can't even get through to the person. So I'm sorry, this is maybe for most of you this is so obvious, but I can't tell you the opportunities that. So do we go and try to find a way to email them a very special note and tell them that we really want them to call us back? No, we move on to the next person. The one that's going to answer the phone. The one that's going to call us back. So you want to make sure that you're accessible. You're in these meetings, and everybody here is cell phone friendly. You can get up and take a call. We definitely encourage that. Wouldn't it be awesome if everybody got a call and just got up and left? But anyway, the point is, you got to be able to have your voicemail set up. You got to be able to be able to be accessible, and don't play those games with those Google numbers. That just drives us crazy. I don't know why they're set up like that. So, all right, you are missing out opportunities for that one call. So again, if I have a new job, so some of the larger companies, Capital One, PepsiCo, and not to name any names, they open a job and they say they're accepting 6 resumes. Okay? Usually that's closed within 90 minutes. If you don't pick up the call, if you don't return the call in 90 minutes, I'm calling 2 other people to get them in that queue because that's my best chance of being an opportunity. Yes, I love you, but I love money more. So you want to make sure to be that person that you pick up the phone first, because we're not going to submit you if we haven't talked to you and told you about the opportunity. You may not like, perhaps you're a Coke person, but still, that's the thing that we need to, we're going to be respectful for that, okay? All right, networking. One of the key things, I want to say thank you. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for being here and trying to find an opportunity, find something that you can do that maybe could increase your chances of an opportunity to get a job. Thank you for giving me the time out of your day to be able to be here. Now, don't just stop here. You want to find other groups that are comfortable for you. There are countless groups out there. Foster and his team do an outstanding job across the DFW area. I encourage you to go as many as you want to be as comfortable as they are. There's different circles of people, different connections. They are so important. And the fact is, you will learn different things going to different opportunities in different ways. And their formats are slightly different. And they will match up better with certain people certain ways. So I encourage you to be able to continue to reach out. And the fact is, to show up is going to be one of the biggest things. I'm going to give you a takeaway here. And it's going to be hard to see, but we will share the presentation, and I'll tell you about it here in just a second. So, some of the ones you may have heard of. Frisco Connect, right? Great place to show up. Career DFW, BTNG, Business Technology Networking Group, South Lakes Focus Group. Again, not to give any sway. If you go to careerdfw.org, it has calendars of every organization in North Texas that are doing job fairs, that have networking events that you can go and reach out to. The Pit Crew is a wonderful practice interview team. If you're getting ready for an interview that you really, for an opportunity, you really want to hit it out of the park, you can get on, with their group, and they'll help you practice that interview prior to the real thing. There's a lot of opportunities. A lot of gracious people are giving time for you to help support you. And again, Career DFW has a wonderful website. You can go out there and find networking groups, calendars, countless information, resume. It's a wonderful place. I highly encourage you all across to go and do that. The biggest thing out of all 7 items, this is the one that I'm going to challenge you the biggest, is to have an accountability partner. And it's best for it not to be related, okay? You want to find someone, a peer, someone that may be in transition as well, preferably someone that is going to be hard on you, okay? And here is what an accountability partner, it's going to give you a chance to stay focused, give you a chance to rant, give you a chance to provide feedback. And the accountability partners, you could be dual, you could be each other's. But the point being is that you think you're going to be working hard. Oh, wait a minute, I haven't seen that show because it just dropped and it's a new season I want to watch. I was going to start again tomorrow. Oh, wait a minute, I can go because there is a book signing at Barnes & Noble, so I can go to that. No, they will hold you accountable to particular measurements that you two can agree on, whether it's number of LinkedIn connections, number of submissions, number of interviews, number of new contacts, different things like that. You want someone that's going to be slightly irritating. Oh, honey, yeah, I understand. No, sure, of course, yeah, we all need to work out. No, this person's got to be in your face when you're missing your marks. You got to be agreeable and have in writing what you're going to be measured against. Okay? This is a way for you to stay on track. If you are not working 8 to 9 hours a day, you're failing yourself and your family. If you are not at a desk, either in front of a screen, in a networking group, or meeting with someone over coffee, particularly for a job, you're failing yourself. And 8 hours is minimum. 8 hours is minimum. So that's what an accountability partner is going to give you. Okay, yeah, we'll do whatever accounts you want. You want submitting 3 resumes? Sounds good. No, it should be 3 an hour. Okay, remember on that first slide, there's 175 companies that are headquartered here in North Texas that just moved here in the last 12 years. Okay, when are you going to pick those 20 companies and find 3 suppliers per company, and who are you going to reach out to that? And we're going to do that by Friday. Today's Wednesday, right? You're behind. Those are the things you want in your accountability partner. All right? Those are the people that are going to support you. So, lastly, is that they'll give you a chance of ownership of things to yourself. They'll give you the ability to go ahead and feel happy for yourself. Yes, I still didn't get that job this week, but look all the things that I did. These are the number of connections that I have. These are the things that I have in the works. These are the things that they're talking about in an interview next week. Those are the things you're going to share with your accountability partner that you can now frame, so that when that week comes back, that you didn't get that particular position that you wanted, or you got a couple of rejection letters, you can go back and look at that accountability list and say, here's still the things that I'm doing in a positive way. So out of all the things that I talked about, this is the one thing that I think is the key most important. And remember, it's got to be someone that's going to be in your face. Someone that's going to be a little bit irritating to you. Because that's what you want to be to them, because that's going to be the only way to be fair. Okay? I skipped one thing, and I want to just talk about it. Remember I talked about LinkedIn, and I talked about having a profile and keeping it updated and adding your certifications. Another key part of your LinkedIn profile are recommendations. In the algorithms that recruiters use in order to start searching on LinkedIn to find individuals to reach out to, recommendations are a component, a variable of that. The more recommendations that you have, the higher in the bubble that you are returned. And I'm saying more than 2, 3, 5. We're talking about 20. I mean, if you should think you should have 5 recommendations for every 5 years. So if you are a 15-year seasoned professional, you should have at least 15 recommendations. Well, I don't know how to get recommended. The best and the easiest way to get a recommendation is to go through your resume, write down 5 to 7 people at a particular job, and don't even ask. Write them a LinkedIn recommendation. These are your peers. These are the people you reported to. These are people that reported to you. Write them because what LinkedIn does, it'll go and it'll go ahead and notify Sam. Sam, you just got a LinkedIn recommendation from Rick Martinez. Please review if you want to accept it. And then you'll go ahead and I'll usually accept. Of course, you're going to accept the recommendation because it's going to be positive. And then you reach out to Sam and say, hey, I wrote you a recommendation. Can you reciprocate and write me one? And of course, if you've already written someone, of course they're going to feel comfortable to write you one. And that's how you build your recommendation list. You want to build those up. You want to have those as part of your LinkedIn profile. And when you submit your resume to that awesome job that you're now applying for, LinkedIn gives you a chance to create a PDF from just your recommendations. And the recruiters are going to get mad at me. I am all in to send that recommendation list with your resume instead of a cover letter. I would send that LinkedIn, because if I get that, the first thing I'm doing is I'm reading LinkedIn recommendations before I even look at their resume. And if you have 20 recommendations, guess what? I'm going to make sure I'm reading more than 8 seconds worth. So that's the big thing. And when I had my, and I lost my PowerPoint for a minute, that's where I lost my slide. So anyway, all right, I think I'm getting close on time. So no one can read this, but this is the big thing. Comes back a little bit to what you said, Craig. These are 15 AI-generated resume builders. And I haven't used all of them. Here's a couple of them. The big thing about, let's say you've been in transition for, 2, 3, 6 weeks, whatever it may have been, and you're not getting the hits, you're not getting the things that you want back. Everyone knows that they've built their resume and they feel their resume is perfect. It's a part of them. It's all good. What does it hurt to use one of these AI generators and let them reformat your resume? It doesn't create new content. It takes your content and it puts it in a different presentation style that may help you say, hey, wait, I like the way that looks. This does presents better than what I was doing, because it just gives you an opportunity here to be able to talk about, and like I said, there's 15 different formats, 15 different ways that you can do it. Yes, Pete?
Are they free?
Most of them have a free start. And then for add-ons, of course, that's what they charge you and everything. So again, this is in my presentation. It is available. We will send it out to you. But those are all the different ones. I've tried about 3 or 4. Like you said, Craig, some of them are out there like that. Again, a resume is just opening the door for you. No one's ever been hired just from a resume. So if you find tools that can help match things up better, all the power to you. That's where I kind of leave things up. Yes, sir.
Okay, to your point, Rick, we are going to have his presentation on our website, if not later today, later this week. And you go to friscoconnect.org and you will find Rick's presentation on there. I will also tell you, if you look around our website, we have a link to all the resources all over town in terms of tools you can use in your job search, including the meetings and everything else. So I behoove you to go to the website, friscoconnect.org, and check it out. Again, you'll see Rick's presentation there later. So if you missed a slide, didn't take the proper notes or whatever, you can go back there later this week and look it over again.
So here's my contact information. I'll accept any LinkedIn invitation. And if we have a little bit of time, I'd be happy to answer any other questions you have. Yes, sir.
Like job scan, and I forget what the other.
Job scan, that kind of
Yeah, yeah. So what I mentioned earlier is when I made the statement, a resume never really gets you hired. A resume gets you a chance to the audience, to the hiring authority. And if you can use JobScan or some of the other tools that are out there that will better match your resume up to what that job description is, all the power to you. That's what I would think. Here's one.
You mentioned copying the recommendations from LinkedIn instead of a cover letter, but you didn't really talk much about cover letters in general.
Exactly.
Don't even submit a cover letter, or what?
Again, if you had 5 recruiters here, you'll have 8 different answers. And privately, I place IT professionals. And in the IT sector, you have to demonstrate in the past what you have technically accomplished in a set of deliverables. So a cover letter doesn't really match up well in the technology. I see cover letters really well if you're doing a job transition, if you're had some sort of employment gap, if you're changing careers, all the power to. And again, everybody will have a different opinion. But again, because LinkedIn recommendation is a technical, factual document that will support my resume from a deliverable standpoint. That's why we go down that path. So yeah.
Anybody else have any questions?
Hi everyone, my name is May. May the force be with you. Rick, thank you. Yeah, and I even married on May 4. So, Rick, thank you for very informative session. In 1 hour, you can put many things in here. But one thing I would like to get some additional input for others to do, because there's no way we can demonstrate in an hour, is consider use ChatGPT. ChatGPT can help you to stacking. I use ChatGPT for covering letter. I use ChatGPT for rewrite my resume. I use ChatGPT for thank you letter and following up. I use ChatGPT to matching if my resume is matching the job description, what is the matching rate? Then for linking recommendation, I think Rick is doing fantastic job. But one thing you can search about using ChatGPT, write a sample recommendation for people you want to be post your recommendation, so you know what you want to be highlight for, and ask people. There are something called linking recommendation generator. You can searching it anytime. It's free. They give you 5 templates for recommendation with people's name and company. Then it's not just about linking, but also the connection you have. So don't do network, build a community. I actually got laid off by Microsoft, so that's the reason I'm here. Then the first week I already got 5 offers, and I have a right to pick it because of LinkedIn. And I haven't submitted resume for first 2 weeks, but when I try to submit resume, I realize there's a lot of work. So best way is finding your network and then write a recommendation and share that recommendation with you. If you want to go into the tech, you actually feel free to reach out to me. Microsoft offers free certification, like a 900 basic fundamental certification. If you go to their virtual training day, more than happy to share with Foster, and I will making sure Foster have all the information. Thank you so much.
Well, once again, I appreciate everyone. Thanks so much for taking the opportunity to be here. I challenge you to again, please remember, We are in a wonderful economic area for each of you to be engaged again. One last thing is that, believe it or not, baby boomers, my generation, Foster, we're there. 10,000 people a day turn 65. 10,000 people a day turn 65. Out of those 10,000, at least 3,000 are retiring. So look at the void of jobs that are being opened every single day for you to fill. And it's just you finding the right opportunity and the right effort and the right tasks to get that one particular job, because those opportunities are out there. And best of luck. Thank you so much.